Hey everybody, welcome to another Age of Grogu, this post-Christmas day after, I guess, whatever we're at. I've got with me Julie, Daniel, and Emmanuel. Guys, how's it going? How was your Christmas?
Good.
Yeah?
Great, great.
Cool?
Hey,
Nice.
good
Yeah,
vibes.
it's awesome.
That's cool.
Perfect.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, we are going to be talking through doing a bit of a roundtable on Skeleton Crew episode 5. There was so much in this episode that was packed with some really fun goodness. Can't wait to hear your thoughts, guys. Julie, what did you think of episode 5?
I thought that it I don't even know. There was a lot of little things in there that big fans would know. A lot of references to quotes, references to
Uh-huh.
styles. And I just thought the ending it was predictable, but we didn't want it to happen and we kind of it was shocking in the way that it did happen still.
Uh-huh.
But it was a good episode. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Daniel?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Like Julie was saying, the ending,
Yeah.
we could have seen that coming, but I think the way they handled it was really good, and it left us on the edge of our seat, even if we kind of knew what was going to happen. So,
Oh, yeah. Manuel?
Yeah, I felt like it went from that episode was like it was so great. It went from like fun, especially like during the scene where they're on the bridge and then
Yeah.
she hit the ranch and then the mud. I don't know. It just felt like fun, and then towards the end, things started to get more serious, and I was just like, I mean, like they said, it was the
Yeah.
inevitable. We knew he was gonna turn,
Yeah.
but I was just like, man, I was like, damn, Joel, it's a big old bully. That boy was bullying.
I actually had the most fun on this episode. I mean, this was like out of the 5 episodes so far, and I've enjoyed every one of them. This was actually my favorite. I feel like at the core of what this episode was all about, this was peak Star Wars for me. And I say that in the reference of you had a little bit of humor, you had a little bit of silliness, a bit of gag stuff. You had some very serious stuff going on, some real deadly threats going on with characters. You got some fire blaster fights. You had some cool traps and it went very Indiana Jones and Goonies kind of style of stuff, which was for me again just a lot of fun. And we got these little pieces of the story that have finally started to come together, in my opinion. I feel like we're starting to fill in the threads, and I feel happy with the way we're being filled in and still questioning what is going on. And I do have some theories I'm going to share a bit later on when we get to some of those points. But do you guys have any favorite scene of this particular episode for episode 5?
Yes,
The
I was.
moon's taking a bath.
The yes. So hang on a second.
Do you have it?
I of course I've got it. Hang on a second. I'm just
I
gonna
was about to
find
say,
it.
Rob.
I got so many little notes here. I'm like, yep, here we go. The moon's taking a bath. We see these guys kind of,
Had the
you
towel
know,
wrapped around his head.
yeah,
That's hilarious.
yeah. There's a couple of Atholians in there too, but these guys are making their comeback. I mean, think about it. We had Darth Plagueis earlier
Yeah.
this year. We've got Munes in a bathtub, well, in a hot tub kind of thing, hot springs. I Yeah, it was fun to see those little moments, kind of thing. What other things are we? What other things really worked well for you guys?
I feel like it was so funny and anticlimactic when when freaking the lightsaber and he put it, he had
Oh
it
yeah,
upside down. I was like, that was the biggest face palm I've ever seen. I was like, oh my god! But it's
I
it works because he's a kid, he doesn't know.
I kid you not. If you check my reaction, we dropped a reaction, but if you check it, I literally took one look and I went, "Oh, Wim, you've got this thing upside down, dude."
Oh, you called it out?
I called it out, and my guys who were watching with me literally were like, "Oh, you got that one." I was like, "Yeah."
That's so
I
funny.
I literally saw it was the back of the lightsaber that he was holding forward, and I was like, "I hope this kid doesn't kill himself with this thing."
That's what I'm saying. I was like, oh god.
So I was hyped that I could catch it, but at the same time it was a great little moment because it also shows this this element of being a kid and not quite understanding how things work around you when you're put into a larger place like this, when you're lost in this world. And it's also cool though because we're seeing some development in some of these characters. Wim is almost becoming like Neil was at the beginning of the show, and Neil's becoming almost like Wim was at the beginning of the show. Wim was all about excitement and adventure, and now he's like,
I want to go home. I miss my
I want to
dad.
go home. Yeah. And Neil's the other way. He's growing from this experience.
Getting females. I wasn't here.
He's getting the
I was like,
women.
my boy,
He's standing up to the big droid that's gonna kill him. It's great. I think we're getting these moments of cool transition. Daniel, what thoughts have you got? What were some of your favorite moments in the episode?
I thought overall the episode was very funny. I liked a lot of the humor in the episode.
Yeah.
My line stuck with me is when that guy is attending to the hut and he's like, "Please don't eat me again."
I know.
There were some great moments.
That hut moment was so cool. Yeah, that little fella, like, he literally is like, "Oh no, not again." I'm trying to understand. Like, this hut's picking him up and going for the almighty chomp. It's like, has he seen other of his race get eaten like this, or is he like is the hut just like like a popsicle or something like that?
Eaten, digested, go right out the other end.
It's oh god, I didn't even think about that. That's it. Yeah.
That's like at that point I'd just voluntarily jump into the
yeah, that would be it. Yeah, but
so
I mean,
funny.
A, it was cool seeing a hut, and B,
and like yeah.
It seems like the huts have kind of got themselves branded and marked. There's a lot of tattoo stuff going on with the huts. If you see on his chin there, the tattoo that's there, and of course you take a character from Book of Boba Fett, and you've got tattoos, and so it's like there's something. I don't know if it's just simply a trend for the huts, but it seems like these huts are kind of part of either the same or different families. I'm not too sure. Who knows what this hut is all about? But it's we're getting more huts, and that's kind of exciting. Let me see. I had what's one of my favorite moments. One of my favorite characters and new characters has got to be Pocket. Who is voiced by actress Kelly MacDonald, who in fact was Merida in Brave, which was kind of cool. Which means that now Lucasfilm have got 2 Disney princesses.
Yeah.
Who are voicing characters, or who are
Wait,
characters
where
in
was
Star Wars.
she at?
What?
Where was Ferric Strand? I only remember her from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mulan.
What? She was Mulan.
She's
Yeah,
Mulan?
that's Mulan. You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that.
Oh wow, yeah, no, she's a Disney princess. Mulan is a Disney princess, and so is what's her name? Meriden from Brave. Yeah, kind of cool, huh? Anyway, but I thought she was fantastic. For the short time that we see her on film,
Is she an Umbaran? It looks kind of like an Umbaran kind of vibe, like Orla.
Oh, yeah. I don't know the race specifically. Is that from the books or the games?
From I think the comics. There's
The
someone
comics?
from the High Republic that looks very similar to her.
Okay. Yeah, I know that the conversation has been going around from a couple of different races that she might be, and I'm sure it's one of those races. But I thought her performance was fantastic. Really, really loved it, and I can't wait to see more. I want to know about her, her character.
I'm always glad to see a female bounty hunter. They're so badass.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Every single one of them.
Absolutely. What other moments were great in this episode?
I
Again,
liked the giant squid guy. I don't remember his name.
Oh, yeah.
But that was a great moment. You expect him to be this big, the obstacle they've got to get around. It turns out he's just a cool guy.
Here we go. She's Umbaran. Okay, yeah, she is Umbaran, is what people are saying. So,
Yeah.
hey, welcome to the chat there. Um, all right. Oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
Cathalops. Yeah.
So,
Um, yeah. I honestly thought it was like I forgot that scene was played out in the trailer, and we never saw the face in the trailer, but we actually heard this voice, and I thought, oh, is that another hut? And suddenly the big thing steps forward, and I'm like, wow, that was kind of cool. I love that we can explore the fact that characters can be humongous, the size of a house, kind of thing, and be
yeah, it
like
was
that.
giving me Bendu vibes, but like less
Yeah,
stoic.
yeah, absolutely. Without the force skills, yeah, I was very happy to see that kind of a character, and he was a charming character. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be a real big problem, but he ended up being a huge help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think that is also one of the beauties of this episode was that things that you think are going to be bad and dire turned out to be good, and things that you thought were good obviously turned out to be bad and dire.
And it also,
Welcome back.
I think, just showed kind of the duality of the galaxy in the sense that some of these people don't give two you-know-whats that these are kids in the galaxy, and
Yeah.
some people recognize that they're kids and just want to help.
Well, let's jump back to the beginning for a little bit with the parents. So we've got our parents here. Obviously, we start off, we get these cubicles, which of course remind me of the
Andor.
cubicles on Andor. Yeah, absolutely. So it seems like it's a very old system, obviously, because we know this planet is way older than the Empire itself, and whatever's been going on here has been shut off from the Old Republic, obviously.
Oh.
And I'm more and more curious as to I want to know why this happened, and I still don't know if we're any closer to any answers on that. Do you guys have any thoughts at all?
As to why what happened? Oh, the planet.
As to why the planet is still isolated from?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I don't
yeah,
know.
I
Was
genuinely am like I have no idea.
yeah.
I feel like somebody would have came across them at one point, but I don't know if if that barrier must be one hell of a barrier because
That's the other thing. Yeah,
But that's
And I mean,
another thing that kind of like made me like question things. And I know this is I'm kind of jumping ahead, but
no, go for it.
people think that the captain is one of Neil's species.
Yeah, I've been reading that.
And and if that's true, and they also say that there's apparently like a statue of the captain or Neil species somewhere in the main area. If
Yeah,
this theory seems to be true, it would make sense why his ship was able to get past the barrier without any code, because why were the parents unable to break past this barrier, but they need like a code to go through? Whereas it seemed like when the kids went through, they just kind of flew through it.
yeah. I don't know about that specifically with the code. I mean, maybe the ship has the codes naturally
Yeah,
implanted
that's
in
what
there,
I'm
because
thinking.
yeah. But when it comes to
so what is it
yeah.
theory thinking that the captain came from Aladdin? Like he was from there?
I
Or
don't know if he's
No.
from there, but I
uh
think it's people seem to. Hang on a second, we've got another question here. What do you guys think about the fact that we only see for a millisecond of screen time Neil's dad, and theorize that he's the supervisor? I don't
Yo,
think so.
that'd be cool though.
It'd be
Imagine.
cool. I don't think so. I think Dad's at home with the two babies, and Mom is the powerhouse in that family to get things done. That's my personal opinion. I think that could be it there. So
did you guys see
okay,
the photo? The photo they released of the dad, though? He's pretty intimidating.
Ooh,
yeah,
of
I
Neil's
did
dad?
see him.
yeah. I
I
don't have
I
it
haven't
here,
seen
He's a
it.
but
big dude.
see, well, the statue was of Neil's species. This is the statue we saw in episode 4, I think it was. We never see the head. Or was it the actual? Or we're talking about? See, people are saying that the statue we saw in episode 4 was the head. There's another theory out there: is the fact that it could be just an homage to Captain EO as being that character, which is a possibility. But it also seems more likely that it would be actually a. By the way, Captain EO, if you didn't realize, was a Disney piece that a lot of the little visuals have been bounced around from it, from Michael Jackson's Captain EO from Disneyland. And there's a sci-fi little piece about 15 minutes long. But okay, fair enough. but there are little creatures that they've actually done and they've taken inspiration from that they're actually made in the Star Wars universe in this universe. So there's that. That's the weak theory. Chances are that is just simply a statue of what Neil's race is, and I don't think we've actually got the real name of his race yet.
Are we talking about the statue on at Akron, or is there one that we saw on at Adam?
The one in the pirates
the giant. Oh no! We saw this in the one on the left here was
in the
okay. That was in the chamber here.
I think there's also one without a head though on at Adam.
Yes, that was the one without the head. So there's a possibility it could be this Pirate King. There is one other thing out there that came across as information, is that there is a possibility because of the symbols that are used, people saying it could be the Nile from the High Republic. And this is a thing. Now, I think that's still a bit of a stretch, but they're going out of their way to not show us the face yet of what this character is.
Yeah, so, that is true.
So we know that Captain Tack, his name is, but yeah, they're going out of the way to not show the face of this particular character. There's one thing I am pretty confident in, and that is that his race is not human, and his race could definitely live for a couple of 100 years, like a Wookiee or a Yoda species or something like that. I'm going to be willing to put a bet on it. No, I don't bet, but I'm pretty certain that he is the administrator that's in the tower.
You think so?
And he's still there to this day. I think he's building all of his gold, and he's just sitting there, and he's more or less basically. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why he'd still be there, but at the same time, I feel like he's doing Uncle Scrooge in his own little treasure tower. I don't know. That's my guess, at least.
Is he like?
It's interesting because we got it. You go ahead first, Charlie.
I was just kind of like posing a question in his intention or motive, being like, would he now that he found this planet, is he the one that's trying to keep it a secret to keep it for himself?
If it was the father, you meant?
Or Captain Nennet or
Captain, yeah, possibly. Thanks.
Thank you, Rivia. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. The statue in the episode. Sorry, I'm catching up on. Sorry, Julie, say that again. I'm sorry. I was looking.
Just the intention. If it it was the pirate or whoever that found the planet, like would their purpose for hiding it just be
to keep all the resources?
Well, we found out officially that they said officially it's the planet is the Mint now. Yeah. And so basically it's a place to make them the old republics, which would make them new but old, obviously, because those things are obviously very rare. But then you also got to consider the fact there's got to be some sort of mining if you're going to be looking for gold and that sort of stuff, or whatever it's made out of, the credits are made out of. That has to be still mined. It has to be made. It has to be. So I don't know where all that is going with the society of the planet, because it seems like there is no people that are real, hardcore workers that are out there. They all seem to be very analog and computer tech and keeping numbers. So I don't know how this is working in the system of the entire course of this story yet. And I think that's a good part of the mystery too, which I'm enjoying.
No, yeah.
So I think I like Julie's theory about maybe he's the one hiding it, if this is the captain. Because we've seen what lengths he'll go to, like killing his whole crew and like just to avoid like the word getting out. So I could see him going to that extent of building the barrier just to make sure that no one else finds out. Yeah. But then at the same time, what good is this planet to him if he can't use any of the funds? Like if he's just trapped himself here, like is he enjoying his life here? Or
Right.
And then
that's it. Maybe he is. Maybe he's just enjoying life and enjoying the
Yeah.
control of controlling a society. How you doing, Ronan?
What up,
Hey, yo.
Ronan?
We were
What
just
up, brother?
discussing. We're just discussing the elements about Captain Tack and
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Captain. Yeah, exactly. And his purpose. I got this underwhelming feeling that, or not underwhelming, overwhelming feeling that the captain is still alive, and the captain basically set roots at Adam and is the supervisor in the tower. And species could be a few hundred years old, like a Wookiee or any other species. You know, a Mundi. We saw him back in the Acolytes, so they're quite an old species. So you've got a possible old species. They've gone out of their way purposely not to show the face of this character, whether it's a ripped off head from a statue that we assume might be related to the character from last week. People are saying the gold statue, excuse me, the gold statue could be also related to, Neil's race and all that. You got any thoughts, Ronan?
Oh, you're muted, Ronan.
You're muted, Ronan.
There we go.
There you go.
I think that the one I've been hearing the most is that it's the supervisor, if you will, that which I think was an echo of what you're saying, that it would be interesting to see that he just had to be an entrepreneur down the line, and what that entails. Which again, that makes sense and whatnot, but I'm more interested to see the kids' growth. I don't know if anybody's already brought it up, but there was a couple cool moments within these kids now that there was a show of growth, even though they all got their, excuse my language, but they got their asses kicked.
Yeah.
And now they got to make a run for it. So to me, as long as it doesn't feel like it takes away from the kids, I'm game for whatever. And I do believe, I agree that the pirate is still alive. And
yeah. Sorry?
No, that was his background.
Oh, the background? Oh. Okay. What do you think of the episode in general, Ronan? Ronan, what did you think of the episode? You got the noise. Background.
Oh, yeah, like a panel? Is he at a panel or like a...
No, it was at the near store that had Wi-Fi. That I was like, all right, I'll come here and whatnot. No, but yeah, I think that the pirate is still alive, and I think Jod knows more. I hope Jod and him aren't too connected. I really hope that, because then that makes the story smaller for me.
It doesn't feel like it. I don't think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Jod's only heard of this in story. I mean, I'm dealing with the mystery of who Jod might be. I've now got a theory on Jod.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. He's powerful with the Force, low key.
Yeah.
The way he speaks is so I don't know if it was in episode 4 because I know I missed that conversation last week or the one before.
Oh yeah.
I think it might have been last week, but actually I don't really remember anymore. But he talks about attachments, and that's very Jedi of him to say.
Yes, I was saying the same thing.
And even in this episode, he literally verbatim quotes Qui-Gon. So,
of course, yeah.
So saying his focus determines the reality.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I definitely think that there has to be some Jedi training in there, whether he was a Padawan or a knight, but judging based off his age, most likely knighthood or really old Padawan, I don't know. Okay. But I think there is something there. And based on how he talks, it just looks like he just didn't fit in. That wasn't the lifestyle, and he just left.
Yeah.
But my big thing here is, we're going to get that again? I mean, Kanan, Calcastus, they were all former Jedi who kind of were spread throughout the galaxy after Order 66.
I don't think
do we have to hear that story again? Do we think there's something else that we might get from this character of Jod?
I don't think, if he was part of the Jedi Order, I don't think this was a wait until Order 66 kind of event. I think this is if he took this into his own hands and left sometime before that.
All right.
I think he might be. I hope he doesn't have any Jedi training and that he was just strong with the Force and learned how to do everything himself. Like literally,
Right.
like Ronan was saying, you can see the kids are starting to be able to handle themselves in situations where they have to think quick. Before they were just like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Right.
But now they're starting to grow. And I feel like that's how he was, but like
Okay.
at the whole length of his, I feel like he sees a lot of himself probably in Wim when he was
I'm
younger.
gonna challenge that because I'm gonna say that to use the Force in that kind of way it requires a lot of discipline, and Jod is not a character that is disciplined. And we've learned that from the Jedi. It doesn't matter whether you're a Jedi or a Sith. There is a certain amount of discipline to use the Force in that kind of manner, unless you have been trained in it when you were younger. So I always kind of felt that his undiscipline would mean that he couldn't have just learnt this by himself. We know that what's his name, the actor.
Jude Law.
Jude Law has said that episode 7 is a pivotal story around his character. And I'm excited to see that come to, fruition. I'm pretty sure we'll get this information when that, comes through. But I have a different theory. Does anyone else have any other theories or ideas about John's character?
Well, going back to
Yeah,
your discipline thing for sure,
Yeah.
I know that Jedi and Sith have to have some type of discipline to use the Force. That's just how the Force works. But I'm hoping that in just like in like anime and other shows that when you're on the brink of death type thing, you get that power boost type.
Okay.
I hope that like him surviving by himself all these years, almost being near death,
Okay.
like helped him wield the Force. And I mean,
Okay.
and I feel like he could be disciplined if there's money involved. Anybody can be disciplined when there's money
Right.
involved. So
Yeah.
I hope it's a different.
Maybe you're right. Maybe looking for treasure is his discipline. Maybe that's his focus, his well-being. Daniel, any other thoughts on Jod?
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of with Ronan. I kind of hope we don't go the Jedi route. I think we've just seen it so many times. I'm really curious to see if this could be just a different way of a guy that has grown up with the Force, like not having it trained and having to learn for himself. And I know that discipline is a big part of it, but I don't think it's impossible for someone to teach themselves. I think it would be a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it would be something common we could see in the galaxy, but I think it's possible.
Right.
Especially when it's someone like him with sure, he doesn't have a lot of discipline, but he has a lot of survival instinct. And I think that can help one unlock that side of the Force if that's how you need to survive.
We always figured that Jod was going to turn and do something against the kids, but he became pretty dark.
Yeah. About it.
That sequence at the end there, when he ends up by holding a knife to Fern's face, to her neck, was like again when I was reacting to it, I was like, we were all pretty shocked. It was like, okay, they're going this dark. Is that really where they're going? And they did. He was ready to kill her, and he gave her an option, but he would have had to have killed her to make that situation go happen. And I feel like here's my theory, guys. Here's where I feel like this might be going. I think that he might have been a new apprentice to someone like Dooku, or even Dooku himself. Consider the fact that Dooku was able to use, well, not Dooku, but Qui-Gon Jinn used that line. And what would happen when Dooku and Qui-Gon Jinn was Dooku's, Padawan at the time. So the fact is, maybe that line could have come from somebody like Count Dooku. So you've got a connection to Qui-Gon, but really, it's also a connection to Count Dooku. We know that Dooku took on other apprentices like Ventress, and we also know that Anakin killed Dooku in the middle of his, in his more or less prime. And we also know that Dooku had Jedi training because he was a Jedi before he turned to the dark side. So all of these elements that Jod knows, if he was an apprentice to Count Dooku as a child, just prior to his demise, then there is a possibility that he could have been a Sith in training. A dark side character in training. That's where I feel like he is, because he has got a lot of anger, and you can see it. He doesn't have any patience with certain elements, but he's able to draw from information that we know are from the Jedi traits that also the Sith learned. So I feel like that, that's my goal. He got the beginning training before Dooku was, offed and was left alone in the galaxy, and he'd be the right age too if he was young. That's just my personal theory. That's where I'm going with it. Please tell me if anyone feels like my theory is crazy.
Oh, go ahead, Ronan.
I can see the connection.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, to me, and it's just some stuff. It's cool that it's that deep and connected.
Yeah.
Some stuff I feel like, okay, we're really trying to make it all connect, and I have any breadth
Right.
of
Fair enough.
just just uniqueness, if you will. But like I don't disregard that too quickly because he deliberately quoted that, and I said in my reaction, I'm like, "Yo, that's what Qui-Gon said."
Yeah.
What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard it since Qui-Gon, and so I'm like,
Sure.
all right.
Yeah.
And so I don't want that to be too direct of a connection,
Right.
but I won't dismiss it that easily. That's my take on
Right.
that.
Yeah.
What if he's Qui-Gon's son or something? I don't know.
Oh
I
boy.
don't think so. I don't think so.
Qui-Gon definitely did not have a son.
Well, that's the other rumor I've read, is that he could be the child of a Jedi, which again, we don't know. I mean,
He's actually quirky. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I like your theory, but me personally, I don't want him to have no Jedi training. I just want him to be a survivor of the galaxy that is just strong with the Force, and his experiences, his life, made him stronger. If that makes sense. But I do like it though. Don't get me wrong. I think it would be cool if it got that deep. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like it would be better if he was just like a scoundrel that could just use the Force.
Does anybody think that Wim might end up by using the Force? Or
I hope so.
Kind of draw from it?
No, I think that's too obvious. I think if anything, it'll be one of the other kids. Like, I think
really,
if anything, they'd set it up to like Wim's the one that likes the Jedi and is interested in the Force. And if there is a Force user, I think it'd be cool.
Way to put the kid down even further.
I know, right? I know.
KB has the Force, but Wim didn't get the Force. I don't know.
I think it'd be too cliche. Like, you look up to the Jedi, you want to be them, and now you are them. Like,
could be. I mean, everybody has the ability of using the Force. Obviously, we've seen that.
I hope so, because that's his thing. I hope he's able to use. I mean, me personally, I hope he's able to use the Force.
Right.
Because that would suck if you admire people's. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I hope he can use it. Watch it be Fern that's being able to use it.
Yeah. What other cool things were going on? Let's jump back to kind of like the beginning when Wendell was doing his little. This episode just was full of great little gag moments. Just this moment between the robot and almost like the parents have become the children in this weird lost world of trying to be sneaky, and they're not very good at it.
Not good at all.
Not good at all, because you can see that they've made every effort and attempt and still failed at the attempts. And I think that's I find that very funny. I find that amusing in that sense of this is what I feel like we need a little bit more of in the Star Wars shows, is this little bit of silliness and a little bit of humor that is just like a little offbeat to a certain degree and almost childlike. And I feel like people are complaining. There's a lot of complaints, obviously, in different shows. I've enjoyed all the shows that have come out for whatever reason, one or another. I've enjoyed more, one above the other still, and there's still my favorites and there's still my lesser favorites. But it's all Star Wars for me, and I have enjoyed what we're getting as content. But I feel like occasionally we will be missing those beats that we are getting from Skeleton Crew. And especially in this episode, again, we got these great little moments, is my thought there. I don't know.
Yeah, I like the I like the silliness, the child like because when he was doing that and he had it behind his back, I was just like, bro, what do you?
Yeah.
At first, I was like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna be slick with it, like do something? And but I was just like, he just got caught straight up. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I like that fact that they're like new to breaking the rules. If you'll say, I think I think that's like a cool addition to the story. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I don't know. It's to me, it's like I know it's meant for kids, but I'm enjoying it like a lot, and I can't wait for next week, next episode.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a great little moment. I think it's like kind of like they're inexperienced at hiding stuff because they've been on this planet presumably their whole lives as well. Like they've grown up and gone to the school like that little school that their kids went to. They had their jobs pretty much picked out for them, and they knew what they were going to do. So they don't have these survivability skills that like someone else in the galaxy might have. They're used to just their simple way of life.
Yeah, but there's also this element: the father is like the son, the mother is like the daughter. She shuts down the robot. The kids shut down the robot in the second episode. We've got all these little beats that the kids are growing up to be like their parents, and it doesn't matter what it is. They've been forced in that singularity kind of position and placement, and it's kind of interesting of that. I do like that we actually got to see the tower in the background here, and it's all of its glory. So I still think that our Pirate King is kind of sitting up there in his tower playing Scrooge McDuck, making all of his money.
It's Luffy up there.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Let's see. What other notes did I have there? Great little beat at the beginning there with
I remember that thing. That scene was funny. He just broke out of the rope.
Yeah, just simply just sat up and just broke. Yeah. That was great. Again, it's like those little beats, that kind of humor is thought out. And it's thought out well because, he's a big robot. He's bound to just be able to snap rope in a single beat. I kind of enjoyed those kind of little beats in this episode. I think we've been getting that throughout the series.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I like how it balances the comedy, where it's not like a comedy show, but it has plenty of comedic moments. Like it's
absolutely, yeah. We've got the run sequence. We've got the run sequence. Turn around and run. You've just been caught. Just start running, and that's very Han Solo. Han Solo is running down the corridor and turns the corner. There's all these stormtroopers. He's like shoot, runs back the other way. It's like and I feel like. Again, I don't feel like we're necessarily getting those beats in the other Star Wars shows that this show's doing so well.
The comedy is very like original trilogy, like it captures that vibe perfectly. Kind of not like I think the sequels attempted that, and even some of like other shows attempted that, but they didn't quite nail it, and it came out more on the cheesy end. But this show is just nailing it.
It's feeling natural it's feeling natural where if they try it in other stuff, they actually feel forced. And I feel like there is something within the writing and the direction of this show that is more fluid. And again, I think it goes back to just being childlike mind.
Yeah.
In the way you approach the story and the characters and the direction. And I think they've nailed it. And I didn't think they were going to. But they really, I feel they have been nailing it quite well. Let's see, what other stuff? This great little moment here when Wim was kind of, crying, and you see Jod kind of come in and just like, oh no, I know what this is. I need to turn around, and is like, oh God, I've got to go down and sit there. And just like every moment and every beat in his face was just fantastic. It was,
he was just
but yeah, it's like you guys have seen The Goonies, right?
Oh yeah,
a long time ago.
A long time ago. He feels like in this particular scene, he's like Ma, what's her name? The mother who is listening to Chunk tell a story, and she's just like kind of thing, rolling her eye and all this, and I got that, but it also definitely is not any sort of Jedi like wisdom. The fact that he's delivering Jedi wisdom and still rolling his eyes in that scene, going, "I don't want to be here," sitting next to this kid, listening to him blabber about his life, I think was actually very, very well played out. I had a lot of fun with that.
I think it also shows a lot more of just like his character in general, because like just the way he interacts with the kids, it doesn't look like he had that as a child, and so he's like, "Why are you kids being kids?" Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, when they reach Lanupa, which by the way was a really cool planet. I love the idea of that. I thought it was very cool. You had this kind of the fact that they come in and just parts of the ship are just falling off. I thought was great.
I know.
It was very cool. And of course, you have the actress who was in Better Call Saul. She played one of the characters. I can't remember which one. But this whole interaction scene here was just, again, another fun scene. Did you guys catch? Did you catch him saying? He was talking about the Brachyan physiology. Languages. Just they don't speak basic, and it's actually brat, like as in you little brat, kind of bratic. Yeah. It was actually kind of a funny line.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but it's like bratic physiology doesn't,
And he started talking.
Had them learn basic. Yeah. Then he makes that BS language, which was even funnier because it was just not a language.
But I don't know if anybody's brought it up, but like it's seen the dynamics of them trying to make their way inside the casino hotel.
Yeah,
and yet you put it towards the end. He's got a knife to Fern's throat, and Neo is pleading to him.
Yeah,
and that was the thing that broke my heart. Neo pleading to him, like, "Please don't do this." And it's just like, man, like I'm like, all right, this is what caring about characters it feels like. All right, cool, I'm into it.
Oh no, totally. Yeah,
in the span of an episode, we go from them being cool to him, the mutiny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, was it? I mean, it was stuff that we were expecting, but here's the thing: do we think Jod is going to make a comeback and do something to save the kids?
I think so, but just like what Ronan said, the thing that did, like, the thing that was most important is that you actually feel it. Like when he turned on them, I was just like, damn, that's messed up. You being a blue, but it's like we're invested in the characters.
Sure. Oh,
That's what's great about it. Like we care about these characters,
and given like the dry humor and kind of just like personality that we've seen of Jod so far, I kind of half expected him to be like, just kidding, or I got you, like throughout that whole scene, and it just never came. And that was
even just an expression in his face to be like he doesn't really mean this, that he's actually just using this as a con, but there was no con in the look of his face towards the end of this episode. He was dead serious.
You didn't even need the thing why I love this scene so much is because you didn't even need to look at his face when he was staring the opposite way and you could only see his back. Yeah. And he was just they were like Jod or whatever they were calling him. I forget it was a Jod, and he was just standing there. Yeah. And then when he turned around, just him standing, like you could see his back. Yeah, that's what I was just like, he's about to turn.
His posture, basically.
Yeah, his posture. I was like, he's about to turn. He's about to just like, it's up.
You saw him more from like, finally, this is what I've been looking for my whole life.
Yes.
And then you hear the kids saying, "Remember, we had a deal, right? Yep. We had a deal." Yeah. And you just see him turning, turning into like, I'm the pirate. I'm not the wet nurse. Yeah, the babysitter for these kids. No, I'm the pirate. And like, even him saying to friend, like, just Neo, like, don't make this hard on me, and don't make this hard. Just like, don't push me to go this length. And her, it sucks because I knew she wasn't gonna back down. She wasn't gonna back down. But then her saying, "Damn it, this isn't fair. We're kids, and you're an adult," and be like, her wanting to go toe to toe with him, and then Wim with that thing with the lightsaber, man. Which I don't know if you want to talk about it now or later.
Yeah.
But that was like, again, even though, snap, he had it the wrong way, him stepping up to the plate to the guy he's been looking up to, taking advice from,
that was a big moment for Wim, and I was like, "There's Wim. There's a character that I've been following throughout these 5 episodes."
But here's the thing. Yeah, you see Wim, as we were saying before at the beginning, was that Wim is becoming more like Neil, and Neil's becoming more like Wim. Wim's becoming a little, I want to go home, and Neil's like, I'm stepping up to the plate like my friend is. And at the end, though, after that entire moment took place, it was Wim who actually hit the escape, right?
It was Wim.
It was Wim. Yeah. So you could see that it was like, this is Wim's intelligence and strength and willpower stepping up to the plate when needed most. And even though they were taking a gamble going into that, in wherever that was going to lead to, quite frankly, I think it's going to be just like the Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, Molaram escaping, outside the temple.
That's what I felt.
From the whatever this was. It also seemed like it might be the only trap that was designed to actually be the escape hatch for the captain anyway, because it was same as the Goonies. Everything was done in reverse. As this was built obviously outside to the inside, and the inside had one escape floor, plan kind of thing, and that was it. But it was Wim stepping up, and I think that element that we saw of Wim folding in and being at his lowest moment, we're about to see him jump up to be his best self, and who he's stepping up to be. Especially he steps out with the lightsaber. Yeah, you see the look on the kid's face, and it was just like, it didn't matter, it didn't work. At that moment, it gave him the courage and the strength to step up, and
he almost lost his foot, all his toes.
Dude, I still just like, again, called it. I called it when it was backwards, and it was a fun reaction.
That was funny.
That lightsaber, by the way, definitely got some High Republic vibes because of the colorings and all that sort of stuff when you look at it, which is kind of cool.
That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, it's definitely High Republic inspired.
I can't wait to see what John does with the lightsaber, though. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, too. I mean, that moment there when he ignites it off. We don't see it, but the look on his face was that of absolute like, yeah, I've gone dark side, and it doesn't matter. He's channeling darkness no matter what at this point, and whether he's a Sith, whether he was a Jedi, whether he was whatever, he's still channeling darkness by using the Force.
And using it selfishly.
And we know how that works. It becomes selfishness and anger and hate, and it does build up within a character. That's what the Force is about. You can, the idea of the Jedi or the Sith, they can control it by the means of their means. The question is he able to control it? And this also kind of still leads me to that theory that he might have been Dooku's apprentice.
I think if we see him use the lightsaber, we'll definitely be able to tell if he was.
Yeah. If he starts deflecting stuff, then he got some training.
Why do I get the feeling that next week's episode is just going to be about the parents back on?
It's going to be.
We're not going to get anything until episode 7.
He's so funny. I thought the same thing. I was like, next week's episode is going to be straight filler.
And I feel like. Well, I'm not filler. I feel like we need to see an event from the parents' end, because I feel like we need to see. I think what's going to end up happening. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Manuel. Sorry.
Oh no, that's all I was going to say.
But I was saying I feel like we are going to get to this point that the parents are doing their own investigation that's going to bring them to the top of the tower. It's evident and obvious that they are going to end up at the tower. At the same time, the kids are going to return to the planet, and all hell's going to break loose with pirates and all this sort of stuff going on. But whatever is going to be, the kids and the parents will be in the same place at the same time, is where I'm guessing that this show the season will end, at least, with their discovery and their whatever it's going to be kind of thing.
Talking about the season ending, do you guys think that these characters will cross over in the Mando movie or any other show?
I don't know.
The pirates. But that's it.
Very subtly, I think, because I don't want the kids to start joining, the New Resistance and the New Republic.
Well, not really the
forces one, but like, I think it'll hint at stuff about what's happening in the Outer Rim and how it's like the core planets aren't paying attention to stuff like this. Like there's a hidden
planet that nobody knows about, and so how is that going to impact? And also,
Yeah.
I hope it does connect, but not too direct, because why else would you set it in this time period? Of all time periods, why this one?
Yeah.
You also consider the fact that the Munes were kind of, they might have been a throwaway line that the banking clan was kind of on this planet, this leisure planet, which we've got to kind of talk about the whole leisure planet thing too.
Oh, Brent, when I
But
heard that, I was like, "Woo, Clone
but
Wars!"
that's it. But the thing is, it's not just that, and it's not just the fact that we've had Munes, more recently because of the Acolyte as well, because of Plagueis. But we are also kind of considering the fact that the idea of money and the banks, and that this was a repository. Obviously, Adam was an old, repository for creating, money for the galaxy. It's also showing kind of other levels about what's going on with the galaxy right now too, because you kind of consider the fact that New Republic credits. This is all the old Republic money and stuff like that. The whole thing feels like that we're getting these leads to, I don't know. I feel like we're getting this financial thing that is kind of being built into the story of the Star Wars universe. Just my guess. I don't know. Any thoughts? I don't know if that made sense.
I feel like they could fund the whole Republic, the New Republic, if they wanted to.
Well,
that was the whole thing in the Clone Wars, right? That there was a money thing about is there money to be made out of this war,
right.
and who's
Oh,
paying for all these weapons, who's paying for all these battles, which leads to a war.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if they dealt with that aspect in the New Republic, because there was all these hints that that Shadow Council said, there's a lot of planets that already fed up with the new rules of the New Republic.
Yeah.
And imagine those planets that haven't been helped since the revolution came to be. And so I feel like there's still a lot of blowback to settle, of not just okay, we won, but now how do we get up from this thing that's been plunging our galaxy for almost 20 years?
Yeah. I mean, it is also, if Adam is discovered, it's going to be interesting to see how that affects what the rest of the galaxy, how the position of the rest of the galaxy is too. Is it the Resistance, the New Republic, I should say, that come in and kind of say, well, that's ours now.
You can just steal everything.
It could be. I mean, bureaucratic systems at work, and the rich, and and all that.
A vacuum.
Yeah, that's it. And you also got this whole thing again. You're seeing the whole upper class again. We saw it on Canto Bight. We're seeing this with obviously the Hutts and the Mune, who are the banking class. So you got this whole element going on that those societies are still existing in, and it doesn't matter which one is on top. They're still profiteering from everything. They're still living this luxurious life of being able to go to the pleasure planet and that sort of stuff too, which is also kind of, I find that fascinating. I love that in the Star Wars universe. I love the law making that we're getting of what is going on in those parts of the world, and that's what I'm enjoying about this series too. It's not just about the kids. We are getting these very well thought out, under depth levels of what is this society, what is this class, what is this, who is the ones that are the oppressed and don't even realize it still. And we're seeing all that in this show, and that's what's making it very impressive as a show.
Brent,
yeah.
Do you have the whole panel? Do you have any idea how I freaked out when I saw the Hutt in there doing?
Oh, the Hutt?
Yeah, because I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, we saw some in Book of Boba Fett. Jeremy Allen White is going to play Zoda or whatever his name is. I'm like, this can't be a coincidence. In the background, okay, but in the foreground, I'm like, this is a deliberate choice.
I've been asking for more Hutts for a while. I've been saying, give us Hutts.
Yeah.
But again, they're all part. I don't know if they're all part of the same clan, but you've got the tattoo thing going on to the chin that we've been seeing as a reoccurring thing. The
cartel.
Cartel kind of thing. I don't. Is this again? I don't know. We'll find that out. I'm guessing in the future. Hopefully they'll tell other stories around the huts. We'll have to wait. Well, obviously we're getting Road to the Hut being announced in Mandalorian, but to what capacity we have no idea. Jabba's son. So, and what other stuff were there? Oh yeah, did you guys notice that this is some ancient Sith text that was actually on the planet too? I don't think that means anything, but I believe it's called the Urkita or Kita.
The language?
Yeah, ancient Sith language apparently, which was kind of interesting. Again, I don't know if that really means anything on this planet, but other things. Let's see where we're at.
I'm gonna hit up Kyle Katarn and Star Wars Explain to like translate that, please.
Oh
Because,
yeah,
like, you never
good
know.
question. Yeah,
You never
definitely.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We've got. Let's see. You know what? This is the one. I wanted to bring this up too. I feel like we're getting a lot of KB, and she's doing a lot of stuff that would be expected of her because she's tech savvy. But I feel like she's the one character that we haven't really had character development from yet. I want to see that. I'm hoping we do get a bit more about her rather than she's there as the tool. She is the tool who can reprogram the droid or do something smart or intelligent. But I feel like I just want to know a little bit more about her. And as much as I want to know more about Jod, I also want to have a little bit more character development in her character. I hope we get to see that in the upcoming episodes.
Yeah, I think we will because they've touched on like her medical condition, but we still don't know much about that. So
Yeah,
I think that we're gonna find out more details about her backstory and
maybe in the next episode, maybe in episode 6
Maybe.
when they're down there trying to escape.
yeah.
Maybe she's the one to lead the way out.
That'd
knows?
be cool. I mean, again, I feel like that's the other cool thing about this show. We haven't stayed any more than an episode and a half, or an episode and a
In the
bit
location,
on
yeah.
a location. We've
Which is
moved on
great.
very
It's moving.
quickly.
It's
And I
moving.
think that's incredible. And I'm still, I don't know what the budget cost in comparison to other shows, but this feels, again, wider and bigger scope than we've seen from the stuff that they've done on the stages in the revolve in the volume, and they've obviously been listening to the public who are saying Mandalorian was really cool and everything, but we felt by season 2 onwards you start to
Contained.
feel the how small that world really is when they shoot on that stage, and so I think they're definitely widening that, and they're definitely making their effort to make that, which is cool.
Shoot on location more.
Yeah, and extend stuff that way. Other cool stuff. We haven't even talked about the pirates in this episode when they kind of turn up again on the planet. Booby traps, pirates, lots of cool things. This was a really cool trap with the repulsive trap.
That sucks. That's a horrible death.
Yeah, that was cool. It was a cool way to use that.
yeah.
Urko over here killing everybody, man.
No, that was
That's it,
gruesome. I know
yeah.
it was off screen, but
Yeah,
man.
it was still
I
great.
literally was saying that. I'm like, Urko, you murderer. I'm like, damn you.
Oh, we had a great moment when the guy goes up. One of my guys and my reaction is just looking and we all laughing as this is happening, and it's like my friend said, "Did I do that?" He shoots him.
You have to say that.
And I was just like, we actually cracked up at that moment because he said it right at the right moment because he was just looking right at his face. But yeah, I meant obviously some of these pirates bit the bullet in the acid bath. Obviously, I'm going to imagine the main ones got out of there somehow, kind of thing. But I thought it was good. They've been great. The acid trap. It's his foot going into the trap, of course.
Bro, when I was watching that episode,
Yep.
I was like, knowing me, I would have dove in there face first. I would have dove in there. I would have dove in there and got destroyed.
So, in other words, don't take you as a player character in a
if
Dungeons
we
and
go
Dragons role playing game because
if
you.
we go on
Yeah.
if we go on that adventure, bro, I have to be
We have to hold you back.
I would have just jumped, bro. It would have been over.
But
That's funny.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's again, KB's around to kind of give us these little. She was able to. I guess this is Albrecht language
Yeah.
there, but that was on the roof and all that. But everything, what can I say? The treasure room was cool. It was a really cool set. Um, and yeah, what else? What else? What are the things run by your mind, guys? Anything?
Phoebe did have her like singular tear that was coming down her cheek at the
Oh,
very end.
yeah,
Did
yeah,
she
But
really?
yeah, going through her like her,
that's it. When Jod betrayed.
Damn, so
Yeah,
she actually cared about him.
yeah.
no.
Maybe that's her medical condition. Maybe she'll get to.
Well, she was estimating the chances that he would betray them, and like
Oh
I
yeah.
think for her, she was like, "Oh man, maybe I was wrong with my estimation," and
You
then being
had
like, "Oh, never mind, you were right."
you had everybody saying that, like even Cathartha or whatever his name was. It was just like,
I know.
do not trust him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Did you
like
catch that when Cathalop sniffed Jod and was like, "Yeah, don't trust him."
Don't trust him. Yeah,
Neil goes in and like starts
Yeah.
sniffing him with his little.
Yeah,
tongue.
I seen that. Yeah, I see the. That was funny. Like, I want to
Yeah.
feel what he smell like. No, that was funny.
again, just everything on this episode for me was I was top tier Star Wars in its very best for me.
It's just
And
adventure. It just takes you on an adventure, and
Yeah.
it's like it's just fun every step of the way. Even
Yeah.
the dark parts is fun.
hmm
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not like
oh, especially the dark parts. There's some
yeah,
dark
it's
things.
not Game of Thrones
Yeah.
dark, but it's just
No.
fun. It's just fun.
Oh yeah,
I've been enjoying it a lot.
yeah,
I can't wait for Tuesday.
The quality of the show has not gone down. Yeah, I feel
yeah,
like consistently each week
yeah,
I'm with his characters now, and I'm 5 episodes in. I'm like, okay, I just want to see how each of them has another moment. And like to me, again, I go back to the win moment.
yeah.
I think he's gonna get that moment later down the line,
Oh sure.
but not yet. And that was a good moment to him to be like, no, it's
Yeah.
cool that you stepped up to the plate, but think.
Yeah.
Don't just
Yeah.
just act. Think as
Mark.
well. And be like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely see the development of all these kids and the progress that sometimes they have to take a step back before they move forward and
Yeah, they're
which
learning.
is kind of cool. They're learning.
They're learning.
And really, I just want to go back to Pocket again. I think. Oh, I enjoyed her performance in this, and I thought she was such a great, fascinating character. I want to see a story about this bounty hunter. I think she's fantastic.
I'm still tripping about how Phoenix Shine is Mulan. That's crazy.
You didn't know that? Oh my
I
goodness!
didn't know that. I just remember. I just know her from Agents of Shield. Like,
Yeah.
literally.
Oh my god, I feel old.
Again,
That's cool though.
two Disney princesses. That's just,
Yeah.
Star Wars. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's most of the notes that I had on the episode. Any other last thoughts on this episode, guys?
Can't wait for next week. See what he does with the lightsaber. If he does use it, probably episode 7 he'll use it.
Yeah.
I like that there's moments where you see SM's having a bit of a soul and be like, sorry, kids. Give apology to the kids. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, I don't want to do this, but it's part of the code. I have to follow
Yeah.
the code and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
I love that you saw those moments with him. And, like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I want a statue. I want a nice, detailed statue of SM.
I know.
Yeah. No, he's a great character. It's I personally am under the impression that if they're going to keep things interesting, they may not have Jod kind of be the good guy at the end of the day and keep him bad and keep him continue to be on this bad streak. Some people just go that direction and they move on. So I feel like the betrayal that he started here is going to just keep on happening and building and building. If he becomes a Force user threat against something like a Skywalker in the future, or I feel like that would be an interesting development too. I feel like to make someone always turn back and be good, or come back and save the day and be the hero, I don't know if that's in his character, because I haven't seen anything that truly makes me believe that his character
It's redeemable.
is that character. that he would actually turn around and do something good. He's in it for himself. He's in it for the gold. He's in it, he's got this wrath about him that is not good. You've got several characters throughout the course of the show saying he's not a good person. And he's been that all his life. And there's nothing to make me believe that it will make him turn around and do something heroic and just and good that doesn't involve his own
motives.
And that's just me personally. And it'll be fun to see a character become that who just simply cannot be changed to a goodness. But this is, I don't know. Yeah.
I agree, but at the same time, I feel like he is gonna end up being a good guy because I feel like they've been like, just story wise, the pirates are like the big bads in the show.
Sure.
And we don't even know who the supervisor is, but
yeah.
I feel like maybe at the end of the day, I feel like he's gonna for sure help the kids. I just think that's how the show is leaning towards. But I honestly, what you was just, I feel like that would be a cool way of him like being unredeemable. I feel like that would be cool. But I feel like with the vibe of the show, I don't think that it's gonna go that way. Me personally, but I think it will be way interesting to see him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind if he stayed like bad guy. Yeah. But I don't know. To me, like I said, Treasure Planet vibes. I feel like he'll at the end, at the very last second, he'll have a heart of cold.
Yeah.
But he won't stick around to be the hero and say goodbye to the kids. But he'll leave them treasure, and he'll get a couple for his own. Be like, I finally got my worth, and I didn't let you guys down.
Then, if that moment does happen, it will have to be earned by the way they do it, because they're real. As I said, I keep looking at every moment that he's lied and schemed and plotted, and ever since the beginning. And it's going to take a lot or something big and mind blowing to make him have that slight heart of gold to do something good for these kids. Yeah. And I need to see that, come and happen at the end of that. This is my thought. Julie, any last thoughts?
No, I think that I've said everything I need to regarding this episode. I think that next week, it's going to be what you said. We're going to go to the parents, see what's happening down there. Because I feel like even though we've touched base with them, we haven't really seen true developments on Aden yet.
Yeah.
And we're just going to come back for a two-parter finale, like the Acolyte, kind of just distracting us, the episode 6, and then 2 parts at the end to finish it off.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing parts of next week's episode as some of the parent stuff, a bit more development, but I'm hoping they don't involve an entire episode on that too. We had a good run this episode. What, 40-something minutes? 42 minutes?
Yeah. 42 minutes probably,
Yeah, which was kind of,
a balance.
Was good. It was a nice balance. I like that. But the short ones have also been very filling and rewarding too. So
yeah. I just thought about it right now. It'd be cool that if Judd at the last minute had a heart of gold and helped the kids, but faked his own death, and the kids put it together. They're like, okay, he's not really dead, but officials saying, who was it that did this? He'd be like, oh, it was this one guy. He was a scoundrel pirate, but he's dead now. And like that's them saying like, thanks for coming through at the end. Yeah. And I would love it, especially if Judd throughout the whole remaining episodes he has the lightsaber, and at the end he leaves it to win. And be like, I'm force sensitive, but the saber is yours. And be like,
I feel like I'm gonna vomit from that thought. But I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna give that lightsaber away. Someone's going to pry it from his cold dead hands.
I wouldn't want to part with
Fair enough.
I don't know. It's fun. All right. I don't know where Manuel disappeared to, but he's just gone.
Literally.
Ronan, where can we find you?
You can find me at Ronan Unchained on YouTube, on all the socials, Twitter, TikTok, Threads. I'm covering the show each week. Right now I'm covering Creature Commandos as well, and I think I'm not doing this weekly roundtable, but I feel for the finale or after the series concludes or the season concludes, I'll do a roundtable of my own, and I would love to have a couple of y'all there as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And I want to reach 1,000 subs before New Year's. So
get it.
Before years.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get it.
I'm still fighting. I'm still at like
close.
860. I'm getting up there, but it's like
Be consistent. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it goes and then it moves and then it stops and moves and stops. I haven't been keeping up with What If. I've been trying to keep up with that, and I haven't.
Yeah.
I need to get back into that and watch those episodes. They're all dropping this week. So, but yeah, guys, everyone out there in the chat who joined us tonight, thank you for joining us. And if you're looking at us later on, just like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we shall be interested in seeing what happens next week, and we'll do another roundtable next week. For
Like the video, everybody.
6.
Hit that like button.
Later, guys.